Despite progressive Democrat lies to the contrary, the diversity visa lottery program is putting Americans at risk, and it must be shut down. Now, last week, the New York Times, of all outlets, did a really good piece on this program entitled Diversity Visa Lottery, inside the program that admitted a terror suspect. The Times starts by going to the root of the program, which is also the heart of many of the lies progressives and Democrats are telling you. Last week, when an immigrant from Uzbekistan, Sayfullo Saipov, killed 8 people in New York City in the name of ISIS and the name of Islam, progressives took to microphones and cameras and said, well, it had nothing to do with diversity visa lottery. He came here on that, but he was an unintended consequence. He's an outlier. He's a rarity. This program was intended to help Irish immigrants, white Western Europeans. Well, that was true 30 years ago. This program has its roots in the Immigration Act of 1965, which essentially eliminated country quotas for Western Europe. Basically, it decreased immigration from Western Europe, countries like Ireland, while increasing it from places like Latin America and the Middle East. So in the 1980s, trying to rectify this problem, a group of Irish-American congressmen, led by a Democrat out of Boston named Brian Donnelly, introduced a temporary measure. And let me read you what the New York Times said, quote, that provided an alternative path to a green card for citizens of countries adversely affected by the 1965 reforms, including Ireland. So this wasn't all about Ireland, all about only white Europeans. In the 1990s, actually in 1990, Chuck Schumer introduced a bill to make the program permanent, and it passed. So it went to help Ireland, right? This program is about helping Ireland. All these guys ran up to help Ireland. Let's talk about how many Irish immigrants have come to the United States on this program, on the diversity visa lottery program, that progressives are telling you was designed and is still designed to help white Irish immigrants. Let's talk about how many white Irish immigrants, I'm presuming they're white because Ireland is predominantly white. Some of them can be black, some might be other races. But let's talk about how many people from Ireland have come here on this program in the last 10 years. It's actually laughable. In 2007, 50 people from Ireland came here. 2007, 50 people from Ireland came. 2008, 51. 09, 51. 2010, 61. 11, 87. 2012, 76. 2013, 52. 2014, 44. 2015, 50 people. And in 2016, a whopping 36 people from Ireland came to the U.S. on the diversity visa lottery program. Another liberal progressive Democrat lie debunked with data from the State Department, an institutionally left government agency. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's ridiculous. But what's required to come here on the diversity visa lottery program? You need to be a surgeon with some special skills, maybe an engineer with a new method of building a safer bridge? Oh, no. No. In fact, no special skills are required. Let me read you this quote from the New York Times. Quote, no special skills are required. A high school diploma suffices. There is no limit to how many years a person can enter the lottery. No country can account for more than 7% of all visas issued in 1 year, but there's a lot of countries out there. So that means a lot of people are coming here from places that wish to do us harm. This year, the entry period opened October 18, 2017, and it ends in a couple of weeks. In a few weeks, on November 22nd, we are smack dab in the middle of this program. Remember, this program designed to help Irish immigrants, of which 36 came last year. The program is also ripe with fraud. Let me tell you what the New York Times said about that. Quote, the program has been marred by fraud. 1 year, an applicant submitted more than 2,000 entries. Other winners have sold themselves for marriage or to bring a spouse to the U.S. And we have a K-1 visa for that purpose. So they're defrauding the diversity visa program as well. Now, let's talk about people from some of the countries who come here. Now, remember, in 2016, 36 Irish immigrants came, but 2,778 came from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a country that's perpetually at war where rape is legal. 2,778 people came. There's no law on the books against rape in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And people in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, according to Pew Research, support Sharia law at a rate of 74%. 2,855 people came here on diversity visas from Egypt last year. Remember, Egypt is where Mohammed Atta, the 9/11 ringleader, was from. In Egypt, 74% of people support Sharia law. 2,143 came from Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, 65% of the population support Sharia law. Ethiopia is also home to some of the most radical terror groups, offshoots of Al-Qaeda. Nigeria doesn't have numbers for 2016, but in 2014 saw 2,467 people admitted to the U.S. under the diversity visa lottery program. In Nigeria, 71% of the population support Sharia law, while a country like Ireland is predominantly Irish Catholic. So this diversity visa lottery program has nothing to do with white Europeans. They are a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the people we're letting in. Now let's look at Sayfullo Saipov, the ISIS terrorist who murdered 8 people in New York City. He came from Uzbekistan, right? Well, was he an outlier? Was he some random coincidence? The way they make it sound, Uzbekistan only had a few people come in, right? Wrong. Another progressive Democratic lie to you. In 2010, the year Saipov entered the United States, we allowed 3,356 diversity visa applicants from Uzbekistan into the U.S. In fact, Uzbekistan was the largest recipient of diversity visas, one of them being a terrorist who killed 8 innocents in New York City in the name of ISIS. There is something very, very wrong with this program, and you're being lied to about it. It needs to be shut down. But our immigration system on the whole is an absolute mess. Just this past week, the Department of Justice is civilly charging 4 Somalis for scamming the diversity visa lottery program. This is a story from Conservative Review, so let me read you a quote. Quote, the DOJ, Department of Justice, DHS, Homeland Security, and the State Department filed civil complaints in the District of Minnesota because if you understand Somali migration, you know that they are predominantly relocating in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And if you also understand Somalia, you know that it is a hotbed breeding ground for Al-Shabaab, the very violent terror group. Very, very violent, brutal terror group. Filed civil complaints in the District of Minnesota against 4 Somali immigrants who illegally obtained visas through the diversity visa lottery. The complaint states they unlawfully, knowingly, and fraudulently represented to immigration officials that they were a family to gain admission to the U.S. That scares me because they could very well be an Al-Shabaab terror cell posing as a family. Could very well be, very easily be, and this program is so porous, it's allowing for it. Now, Conservative Review goes on to say, Daniel Horowitz wrote this, smart guy, I like Daniel, quote, it's simply preposterous that Somalia would even be on the list of diversity countries. And he's 100% right. Like I said, it is a breeding ground, a hotbed of Al-Shabaab terror activity. The Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions, chimed in on this. DOJ chimed in on this. But this is all representative of a bigger problem. We have institutional leftists here in the United States in agencies like the State Department. They are lying to us. And their Democrat cohorts in the Congress and the Senate are lying, telling you things like these programs are designed to help Irish immigrants, Western European immigrants. They are not. They are letting some very bad people from some very bad places into this nation, and President Trump needs to shut them down today. This content is really important, and I want to keep bringing it to you, so please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.